And welcome everyone to the 2024 Defiance College Yellow Jackets football preview. Jim Bellamy and Randy Roberts along with Coach Bill Nickell. And Coach, first of all, welcome. It's great to speak with you and to see you virtually. How's things going for you right now?
Oh, things are great. We're gearing up for week one for us. Had a fantastic camp, and we're excited to go out and compete this Saturday.
Coach, let's talk first of all about big picture. You made the switch from Division III Heartland Conference to the NAIA. Let's just talk about, from a football perspective, what impact that has had on the program so far.
It's been a huge impact. Very excited for the challenge. I think it's going to be great for the program and the school overall, the move up. But also, it's very similar to restarting, taking a new job. When you're transitioning from non-scholarship football to scholarship football, there's going to be a steep learning curve. In addition to just the talent aspect of it too. So very proud of our coaching staff and what they were able to do as far as bringing in very talented young men into our program. But, it's going to be different. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, Coach, I'd like to ask you a little bit about that. First year with scholarships, like you said, and I think last I saw 44 scholarship players coming in. So a big class to work with freshmen.
Yes, no doubt. And to be honest with you, that number increased quite a bit as well. So we're recruiting all the way up until move-in day, and just looking for guys that will be able to not only just fit our program, but also be able to help us continue to build here. So very, very proud of our staff. They did a great job evaluating talent and finding Defiance guys that we want to build this program off of.
Now, Coach, let's kind of go position by position this year. Let's start with the offense, of course. The offense was pretty balanced last year in terms of between pass and run. You lost a quarterback to graduation, but you have some familiar faces. So let's take a look at the offense from the Yellow Jackets.
Sure. As you stated, we graduated our quarterback. He's playing professionally overseas right now, and that was a big loss for us. Luckily, at the quarterback position, we have Jelani Warren, who has been a multi-year letter winner. We've been here for 2 seasons now. And he's played in a variety of positions as far as wide receiver, quarterbacks, running back. He's a fantastic athlete, and he's a good leader for our program as well. Also at the quarterback position, we brought in Nickell Wingfield, who has been competing for that spot and is a very talented young man too. He just hasn't been in the offense as long as Jelani has. So both those guys, we're lucky to have both of them, and we believe those guys go out and make plays too. Starting with the quarterback because that's where everybody wants to start, but where we really build our program around is our offensive line. I truly believe this, and it's not just because I'm a former offensive lineman, and most of my career has been coaching offensive line, whether just the position coach or as an offensive coordinator, but we return all 5 starters up front, and those guys are fantastic leaders for us. They stayed the summer. They've been training all year round, and we're just really proud of that group, and we expect big things from them. Offensively, we're very multiple. We want to try to get the ball to everybody that can go out and make plays, but that means your offensive line has to be good at all of it, because if you can only run certain schemes, you can only pass protect, you're very limited that way. And as you alluded to, we are a balanced offensive attack. We've got to be able to do a lot of different things. So offensive line-wise, Aiden Burke started all 11 games for us at left tackle. He returns. Gabriel Bookman is at the opposite tackle. They're both bookends for us. And he was an all-conference performer as well going into his junior year. We have both guards coming back. So Brian Hammer was a true freshman last year that started for us. DC to senior, actually developed very quickly. And he's returning back at that left guard spot, and right guard and center are both 5th-year seniors, Eric Moultrie and Andre Allmore, who are fantastic players for us too.
Yeah, Coach, last year with your offense, we couldn't believe your balance and the way you're able to both run and throw the football. You said it, you're bringing in a new quarterback, you got the offensive line, a lot of experience running the football too. Is it a thing where you're going to kind of lean on that maybe at the beginning of the year until the passing game gets going a little bit?
Well, we're gonna attack defenses however it suits us best. Wherever we find holes, that's kind of where the balanced attack. Once we set up the run, typically things open up in the pass game. There's no doubt about it. But also we use our running backs quite a bit in our pass game too. We like to be multiple with formations and motions, just giving the defenses multiple different looks. Tyshawn Freeman's not somebody that I forgot about. I just didn't know where to really plug him in at, but multi-time all-conference player for us, does a fantastic job. We're excited to have him back in the backfield. And for a big man, he has very soft hands too and does a great job in the pass game. Cooper Sloan's also in our backfield that has, played a lot of meaningful snaps, also fantastic on special teams and a great leader for us. So we're excited to find different ways to get those guys the ball. Cameron Turner is another running back. We brought him in as a freshman. He has had a fantastic camp, and he will be seeing quite a bit of time too. In addition to that, not just the scheme side of it, but players-wise, we return our entire wide receiver core that actually saw meaningful minutes last year too. So we're excited about our offense. We really are.
Coach, let's flip the script and let's look at the defensive side. Again, similar to the offense, there are some significant losses, but really only in the name of a couple of players.
Yep.
You lost Thomas Coltrane, and it's impossible to replace the Thomas Coltrane.
Yep.
But you also bring back a lot of good players. So let's talk about the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, similarly to the offensive line, I believe championship programs are built with your offensive and defensive lines, and we return everybody on our defensive line from last year, plus added in some key pieces too. So Richard Pope is back, has been an all-region defensive end before. Has been an all-conference guy for us the last couple of years. He's a dominant player and also all-conference. On the other side, the other defensive end spot, Dominic Harris too. So we're excited about those guys. Inside, we also have Fernando. He is a big man, and he's had a fantastic summer. We're glad to have him back. He's going to be locking down that A-gap. And then Davidson LeConte as well over on our defensive front. Cody Johnson, who started multiple games for us at linebacker next to Thomas Coltrane, he's really emerged as a leader for us. We got quite a bit of young talent there at that linebacker spot too. Braden Burkholtz played quite a bit last year. Had a great spring, and also had a good summer. So, that, to be honest with you, it's Wednesday. We got to play on Saturday. We got to figure out who's going to be starting at that other linebacker spot still. So we have some great competition going on at those spots. Defensive backfield, we return Vashawn Palmer, who was an all-conference performer for us as well. He's playing free safety. We also have Isaiah Watts. We returned 2 starting corners. So we feel pretty good about what we have over on the defensive side. But again, moving up a division, moving up the competition, these young guys that are coming in, they're developing quickly. And we are excited to see how it's really going to pan out as far as our starters are concerned.
Yeah, looking at your defense, and you mentioned it, Coach, you've got guys at, every level with a little bit of experience, or in the case of defensive line, 4 guys with a lot of experience.
Yep.
Just how big is that to be able to lean on those guys and knowing that you have experience at every level out there?
I tell you, it's been awesome. As far as, you bring in the new talent, but really the heart of your team are the guys that have been through the battles with you already. We know these guys are battle tested. We know they've been through the culture development. They know what our standards and expectations are, and they have done a fantastic job of grabbing the new guys and bringing them along. It really speeds up that process to help kind of, shorten that learning curve a little bit and get guys ready to rock. Very proud of the leadership that we have in our program right now.
And Coach, the third and equally important aspect of the game is, of course, the special teams. And you talked about bringing back players and being able – Randy asked about being able to lean on players with experience. I believe you're returning the core of your specialists, are you not?
Sure. Yes, sir. Yep. Both our starting punter and starting kicker are back. The long snapper we had last year is also back. Both of our kickers were all conference last year. And they are, they're not easily shaken, I guess you could say. So they are battle tested and both awesome performers, and they do a great job leading that group too. We also brought in Gregory Breston, who's from Florida, actually a very strong leg. We expect him to be seeing some time too. And Tucker Ackley is another guy that is factoring into the linebacker room, but also a fantastic long snapper. So very excited about that too.
Hey, Coach, it looks like you got a lot of pieces there, and like Jim said, special teams plays a big part. We've seen that in the 3 or 4 years that we've covered the game. So just how important are special teams? It's not just trotting a guy out there on 4th down.
I tell you, I think we probably practice special teams more than about any other team in the country. Every day we have multiple focuses on what we're doing. We practice the Big 4 every day. throughout. And yes, that makes the practice a little bit longer, but we invest a lot of time in it, and it can really give us a leg up. And if you're not practicing it properly, it can be a big detriment too. So we spend quite a bit of time on it.
They say the more things change, the more they stay the same. So while you said goodbye to the HCAC last year, you're still going to see, I think, 3 or 4 opponents from the Heartland Conference in this year's schedule. So let's kind of take a look at this year's schedule. You have some familiarity there.
Yes.
I think you're playing 4 Heartland teams. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you recently added Madonna. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
So you'll have like a full schedule, but there's some familiarity there with the Heartland Conference. So at least almost 40 to 50% of your schedule is of the known environment. So
Yep.
let's talk a little bit about this year's schedule.
Well, I mean, they are fantastic teams too, fantastic programs. Their coaches do their jobs too. So even though they are familiar, what they're actually bringing in, we're not sure yet until they actually get the film and kind of dive into it. And I got to be honest with you, I am fully committed to Concordia right now. That's where my brain's at. But that being said, it's another fantastic opportunity to go out and play at the end of the year. We play a rivalry game versus Bluffton. Very excited for that. We know Hanover is going to be gunning for us because we upset them last year. Manchester, a homecoming. So we do have some opponents that we are familiar with, and Rose Holman's another team that could have went either way last year. So really, when you're looking at those games, we understand those are not games that we will be taking lightly either. Just because we have some scholarship athletes, those are fantastic programs. They have great talent on their squads, and we know we're going to be in a dogfight in those games too.
Yeah, let's take a look, really, I guess, as a whole, joining the Mid-States Football Association, and not an easy league by any stretch of the imagination when it comes
Yes.
to NAIA football.
Right. It's a fantastic conference. We're lucky to be in it, and we are excited to be in it. When you're moving up, you want to play the best. You really do. And out of the last 30 years or so, I think they've had 17 teams compete in the national championship. So very good squad, very across the board. There are no off weeks. We have no easy matches, and we understand that, and we're excited for the challenge.
So it's a transitional, I guess is what they called it right for you this year, a transitional member. The one thing I kind of had a question about is, you brought up guys that were all conference last year. Are they eligible to be all conference this year? Is that, does it, in the scheme of things, is it really going to matter at the end of the day or anything like that?
We're concentrating on just being the best version of ourselves that we can be. We concentrate each day. Everybody says 1% better. We say 2% better, 1% mentally and physically. We want to be the best football team we can be. I believe we will be eligible for some all conference stuff. The stats are going to tell the tale anyway. You'll know if you're the best player in that conference or not, statistically. What I will say is we are concentrated on just being the best versions of ourselves and finishing each week 1-0. That's our main goal, main focus.
And the eye test, it really helps out, right? Like you can see it on film.
100%. So who votes us or doesn't vote us, that's out of our control. So we don't focus on it.
Well, hey, Coach, we appreciate your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
This is Coach Bill Nickell, the head coach of Defiance College Yellow Jackets football team. And we look forward to bringing you great action here on the Yellow Jackets Sports Network.